Hello! Happy New Year, Virgo! How's it going? Welcome back to my channel. This is JJ for all my new viewers. Virgo, I'm happy to be ending 2016. Don't know about you, but I'm personally really looking forward to 2017, and I'm hoping the best for all of us. I'm already, optimistic about the fact that we're all going to be entering 2017 having learned some important lessons that we've taken away from 2016. A lot of important events have happened in everyone's lives, regardless of your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. And whether those events were political in nature, social in nature, or had something to teach us about our own paths in this life, our own spiritual developments. 2017 should be a year where we can move forward with a lot more faith and optimism, and well, I'm always like that anyway. I'm always hoping for the best. So Virgos, we're going to be doing a general reading for you guys. These cards flipped within the deck, so going to be listening to them, of course. So I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas and are gearing up for an awesome splash 2016, end of 2016 celebration, welcoming 2017 tonight. It's still the 31st here where I am. Not sure if other parts of the world will be getting ready to celebrate 2017 already now. 12 p.m. where I am now. 12:30. So, you guys, cards, and a lot of them are popping up. No hesitation whatsoever, and that's nice. Already 2 major arcanas here. I'm going to drop this so that you can see. I hope there's not too much of a glare. Okay. Ooh, we already have 3 major arcanas: the Hanged Man, the Devil, and Judgment. So you guys are definitely ending 2016 on an important note. This first row here is going to talk about your recent history or the history in general. It's telling me that, well, a lot of you had a start in career at some point. A lot of you were enjoying an opportunity with a new company, and this opportunity allowing you to make more money. But at the same time, something may have felt a little bit off here, especially since the Devil card has popped up and right next to the King of Cups too. It's making me wonder whether or not a lot of you had to make some compromises in the department of love here. And I'm getting a sensation too that some of you may have even found love or the opportunity for love within the workplace. However, being mature, you know that this doesn't bode well, that it's not always a good idea to mix business and pleasure. The more sensible, rational sides of you, well, I can't really say rational here because the King of Cups isn't always a rational figure. Sometimes the King of Cups is more of a manipulator, actually, but at least he knows how to balance out emotions, or how emotions are expected to play out in a mature manner with the King of Cups here. the King of Cups comes up to kind of like remind you that you need to control your instincts, especially when it comes to love, so that it doesn't obstruct your ability to perform in the workplace. With the Devil here, to say that any bonds that are formed, let's say within the workplace on a romantic nature, can lead to something quite toxic. The Devil comes up here to warn you. The Devil is also Capricorn. If this happens to be someone in your life, then it is a Capricorn. But this Ace of Pentacles tells me that, yes, you were awarded an opportunity to start a new career or start a new venture, business that could lead and multiply dividends on a financial front here, with the potential to lead up to this awesome Queen of Pentacles, which to me is representing you, Virgo, here, feeling stable in the workplace, feeling stable with money, and being able to afford luxurious things, even if at this time you are actually thinking about saving money. It is a good opportunity to save money. However, you know deep down that if you want to go a little bit all out every now and then, if you want to spend a bit extra, you could. But this is, again, in the more past position here. However, I'm really getting a sensation that things were going well. You know, you were doing your work. You were doing your work. You were not distracted. You kind of you surrendered to the flow. And that is why, you know, the universe was repaying you in kind with this Ace of Pentacles. The Hanged Man is telling me that on a more, in a more distant past, you may had struggled a little bit, or you forced your hand in a matter and had some lessons to learn from that. You eventually did learn your lesson. You decided, I'm going to surrender to the flow of events happening in my life. I know I can't have it all right now. Let me just see what comes my way. This Ace of Pentacles came your way, which is actually rather beautiful, because it can represent a new beginning in so many manners, and not just career, but to me, I'm getting this career vibe because of the Pentacles suit showing up here prominently. There's a lot of earth here. But there's a lot of intermingling as well with business and love, I'm getting. And you knew this was not going to bode well for you. Judgment came up. And it has come up now in this more present situation. The Queen of Cups, who happens to also be married to this King of Cups, is also here to say that you need to reflect on this. That, is here. It's kind of like, I get this impression with the Queen of Cups that she is scolding you for not knowing better, like for not acting quickly enough to stop yourself, to prevent yourself from entering a familiar situation. Like, you've put yourself in this situation before. You've put yourself in a situation where you let your feelings take over in the workplace, let's say with a colleague. Even if you do this privately, even if you're doing this on a mental level or on an emotional level and not necessarily revealing yourself to this other person, but you feel an attraction towards them, you feel like there's potential and that there's something that could be there, or you led someone on in this manner where someone was revealing their feelings to you, and rather than stop it, rather than prevent it from actually turning into a thing, you let it slide. You let it slide. And in that sense, that's a bit of a manipulative energy here with this King of Cups. And the Queen of Cups, might be coming up now to kind of scold you and say, hey, I told you so. I told you you can't act this way, and yet you did. And look where it's taken you. And so now you feel the need to be a bit more cautious, which is the feeling I'm getting with this Knight of Pentacles, where you might even be punishing yourself a little bit, saying, oh gosh, I should have just slowed down. I'm not used to acting so fast. So why did I think I could do this? You had like a boost in self-confidence. You had a boost in self-confidence, and you took advantage of this. You took advantage of this a little bit, thinking, well, that you were in a good position to do so. Things were going well for you in other departments, so why not spread this luck elsewhere? Not sure if you guys had Jupiter in your chart at any point in time. I'm not the wisest astrologer. I don't always, stay up to date with the planetary alignments. I only do this, every so often. So I don't remember this being the case for you, but I still get a sense that there was this feeling of overconfidence and overindulgence, taking things a little bit too far, and now you're slowing down a little bit to prevent this Three of Swords here, this heartbreak, from permeating other divisions of your life, if I can put it that way. Another authority figure here, this Queen of Wands, showing up as well. I'm not sure who this person may represent in your life. If this person resonates with you, they are a fire sign, Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo here. But to me, this speaks more like on the level of an authority figure, perhaps even intervening, which is why you are acting slowly and in your favor here. Perhaps because you're a little bit weary that a boss figure might catch on to how it is that you've been behaving, let's say, maybe inappropriately. Maybe this is something that you did secretly, because, as I said, this might be something that you were keeping to yourself. This might be something that you saw was occurring. If it's in the case of someone, revealing their feelings to you. Wow, so many major arcanas. A lot of major arcanas speaking here. If someone had revealed their intentions to you, their feelings for you, and you decided, not to necessarily act on this, but to let it be. You let it unfold, even though you knew deep down inside that this might not be the best idea. And a feeling of, leading someone on, or being led on, if this is in the reverse, has led you to become a bit more cautious. You don't want to, pour more gas onto the fire, or I'm not sure what the saying is here. You kind of want to make sure that you can contain the damage a little bit with this Queen of Wands here, but it's still causing a lot of anxiety, and it will continue to cause some anxiety in a more future state here with the Nine of Swords, which I'm also going to consider a part of this present state. But it's more like, now is really not the time to think too much, and it's more of a time to let go and have a little bit of fun. You deserve to have a bit of fun. So this Nine of Swords is being postponed a little bit. But I feel like anyway, there doesn't have to be too. I don't feel like for January that there's going to be a lot of emphasis on work, or even when it comes to relationships. I feel like there's going to be more of an emphasis on looking inwards and paying more attention to your family, and paying more attention to key figures in your life. That is what is needed. Like I said, so many major arcanas here popping up, even in a more future state. This is, I don't even know what to make of all of this. Look at this. You have the Star, which is absolutely beautiful. You have Death, which is talking about a major transformation. You have Justice coming in, you know, to say that justice is going to be served for you. And with this Justice figure in particular, I'm happy to say that you caught on to this, devil. You caught on to this. You're not solely responsible for this. There always, you know, there's always a secondary or a third party to blame for this devil. It takes two to tango. It always takes two to tango. So again, you know, please don't think that I'm coming against you guys in any way. No, not at all. If someone came on to you and you knew that this was inappropriate, you knew that it was going to lead to this Three of Swords, of course you can't prevent this from happening. Yeah, there is a difference, you know, when it comes to like allowing things to unfold, and it might be there where you went a little bit wrong, but I feel that if you did this, it was because you didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and you thought to yourself that maybe you could handle it, or maybe in time, if you were silent, it was going to go away. And maybe on a more physical level, it's dissipating now. It could be dissipating. But on a mental level, you know, there's all this anguish. But you're hopeful. You're hopeful that you're dealing with this correctly, you know, maturely, on an emotional front, hoping that there's going to be a transformation in this situation here. And Justice is coming up to say, you know what? Usually it takes you quite a while to learn from such mistakes, but this time around, you're actually dealing with it appropriately and faster than usual. This is cautious energy. The Knight of Pentacles is usually riding extremely slowly towards his destination here. But that's not even the feeling I got when this card popped up. The feeling I got was that you're being a bit more cautious. Cautious does not have to mean slow. It just means careful. So you are moving carefully, but decisively and accurately and precisely, as you guys usually do. But this time you're actually doing it more effectively. And when you are more effective, you see results come in a lot faster. Justice is saying, well done here. Well done. Well done for like eradicating the situation in the future. And as a result of this, you will see this transformation come about. And I mean, I like this for you. I like this for you guys. Although this heartache is not something that is going to, you know, go away so quickly. No, no, no. It really isn't. It really isn't. Even if you're feeling like you just want to hop onto this horse and just, you know, really ride off without even looking back. This is the outcome, the end result of someone leaving. And I'm getting this impression that that might be this Queen of Wands here who's just saying goodbye to the situation. Now that I take a look at the whole picture here, now that I'm taking a look at this whole picture here, I am getting more of a sensation that this is reversed. So this person, yes, the Queen of Cups, came in to scold you a little bit, to say, I told you so. I told you so. You should have been careful with all these feelings. You shouldn't have let, you know, all these feelings just, you know, spill. There are consequences. You felt this deep down inside, but you may have ignored it. I told you so, I told you so. So the Queen of Cups, I feel here, is acting more as an authority figure, whereas the Queen of Wands may be the person that you were actually dealing with. Dealing with this Queen of Wands, you feeling the need to act more cautiously with this Queen of Wands as the Knight of Pentacles here, who is making an offer like of peace, trying to say, you know what, let's just try to keep things more business oriented. If this is again, you know, I'm not sure if it resonates with all of you, but this is again if you found yourself in a situation at work, or with a business partner or a colleague, or someone, you know, who's more of an acquaintance, and so you feel a bit more formal with this person and, you know, unable to let go, like, and be truly yourselves with them. So there's this formal attitude that you weren't so comfortable with, and that might be the reason why you decided to keep it to yourself more than anything, because you didn't want to perpetuate the situation here. You didn't want to perpetuate it. But there are 3 queens. I don't like it when 3 queens pop up in a reading. And I've said this before. I don't like it because it usually then tells me that there's some sort of deception that is arising from all of this. And the deception can come from a female figure. But I cannot tell you who this female figure is. We have the Queen of Pentacles, which is probably you, Virgo. We have the Queen of Cups, which is a water element of Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. We have the Queen of Wands, fire element, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. So go figure. I mean, you've got like all the signs here. There's absolutely no way that like I can pinpoint and tell you where this possible deception could be coming from. I can tell you, however, that this is an energy that feels more like it is you, and if it is not you, it is a Taurus or a Capricorn. I feel like this is a Queen of Cups who is actually working more in your favor, who's actually come to warn you about your transgressions and how it is that you need to pay more attention to the feelings of others and how to deal with the feelings of others in a way that's going to work out to your benefit. And I feel like this Queen of Wands may be the person who initiated things, towards whom now you have to act a bit more cautiously around, who may be walking away from you, or you are walking away from them. Coming to a conclusion of events here, not allowing this to go any further anymore, allowing this transformation to actually take place. You want to say goodbye to this 3 of Swords, this heartbreak that is really at the center of your reading. Doesn't matter how overconfident you've been feeling. Doesn't matter how much fun you've been having. You may have been ignoring your emotions. You may have been ignoring your emotions, and you just... it's all fine and dandy when the Hangman comes up and tells you guys to sit and reflect. It's all fine and dandy to do that. Because when the Hangman comes up, he's asking you to surrender to the flow of life. He's asking you not to force your hand or anyone's hand. He's asking you to just go with the flow. But there is also a line that you need to draw. If you go with the flow a bit too much, if you let things happen a bit too much, without there being control, then yeah, this can happen, of course. If you did this a bit too much, then I'm not so surprised if you find yourself in a bit of a mucky situation right now, where you're caught up and you're a bit tied, and you have to, you find yourself retreating a little bit. And at the end of the day, someone ends up walking away. So many characters in your reading. A lot of characters in your reading. You guys. So, let me see here. If there's anything else that needs to be said about this. Judgment is figuring strongly here. Like, Judgment is one of those major arcanas that needs to just, like, in face of other major arcanas, when Judgment comes up, I feel the need to pay more attention to Judgment. Because having hope and luck and, wishing upon a star and, trying to remain optimistic and all of that is something that we tend to want in our lives anyway. So when the star comes up, then of course it's a beautiful energy, and yeah, you want to take advantage of this star coming into your reading here. And the same kind of with death and major transformations and new beginnings and saying goodbye to the old and welcoming the new and making more room for like something new to come up is all fine and dandy to me as well. I mean, we're always going through major transformations if you think about it. We're leaving behind 2016 and we're coming into 2017. A lot of people are already drafting out their New Year's resolutions. So this death card is most likely promising yourself to have a more fortuitous and fortunate 2017, which is why I'm not going to pay too much attention for this. To this. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying that when the death card appears, it's all too common. It's all too common. To me, the two major arcanas that stand out the most here are these two, Judgment and Justice. And a lot of readers, can find a lot of similarity between these two as well, saying that when Judgment comes up, it's because a justice needs to be served. And justice has popped up in a more future point here, saying that justice will be served. And karma. And according to how it is that you deal with this judgment that has a lot to do with a certain feeling of emotional manipulation coming from a female figure, and you also might be this female figure, Virgo, I have to say. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just calling it as I see it. That depending on how it is that you that you've dealt with this, justice will either be served to your advantage or not. But because this wonderful star card is also here for you, to me, it's saying that you guys you guys are gonna be doing a wonderful job at realizing that you are to be held accountable, just as much as this other person is to be held accountable. Two people in this devil card here, not just one. It's not something easy, to overcome at all. This judgment is going to be figuring quite strongly as well. It's something that you're going to be thinking about with this Nine of Swords for sure, for a while. But this Queen of Cups, although she might be a little bit harsh in her reminder that you need to kind of objectify all the emotions that are in play here, that you need to look at the emotions that are arising within yourself and around those in an objective manner. even though she might come with a bit of a like harsh tongue, she's sympathetic. She's doing this because she knows that it's in your good to listen to this advice. And if you do, then that is where this star card comes in. If you listen to her advice, this star card plays out in your favor. And you will find yourself having a new beginning and a transformation when it comes to relationship matters in the future. And by playing it safe now, justice will also be served to you in your favor on a more future state. No matter if it means that someone has to walk away from something that they've spent quite a long time emotionally investing in. It doesn't matter. People come and go all the time, Virgo. And it's most likely this Queen of Wands, who may have felt like she or he, most likely a she, was treated a little bit unfairly, was manipulated a little bit, deciding not to deal with it anymore on a future basis here. But this is something that is going to be causing you a lot of anguish, a lot of mental anguish. It's not like you want to see this person depart from your life. I don't think you want to see this person walk away from you. You don't. But at the same time, you might finally be realizing that you had something to do with this. Maybe. But you're accepting of this. You are actually accepting of this. And that is extremely mature. That is. And as a result of that, there's going to be a lovely balancing between staying and leaving in the lives of others in the future, where you will no longer, where you might be able to feel that backing away too much, if you feel like you're hurting some people in your life, you know, those times where you feel like, I'm better off just backing away and backing off, because I don't want to impose my bullshit on other people, because I know that that's how you guys think sometimes. Sometimes you're all like, if you're not comfortable being around a person, then you might decide to like leave them, not because that makes you feel better, no, but because you want to save the people from whatever it is that you might have to say. You don't want to feel like you will affect them with your behavior, where you feel like you're better off just backing away and letting them be. Hence this Knight of Pentacles here. Versus the more active Virgo, who really just wants to go in and rush in quickly, especially when feelings come into play. When you allow these feelings to overwhelm you, you can rush into a situation pretty quickly without even thinking it through, which is so uncharacteristic of you guys. But that's what can happen when you let feelings come into the picture, especially if you have water elements in other parts of your chart. Just because you are a Virgo sun and you are detail oriented and you like to analyze things doesn't mean that you always do so in a good way. Like sometimes you will miss a part, you will miss a point, you will cross a highway without looking left and right. We all make these mistakes. We're human. Sometimes you rush yourselves into a situation that you find it difficult to walk away from in the end. But I feel like in a more future state, you're going to find a very good balance between retreating like leaving a person's life and rushing into their lives very quickly. You're going to find a good balance. You're going to find a way to approach people cautiously, but at the same time not too cautiously, so not too slowly and not too quickly. And that is how you remove yourselves from tricky situations. That's how you remove yourselves from a situation that finds you having to make a decision that ends up hurting someone and even yourself, because this heartache is mutual. This heartache is not looking at just one person. This heartache is being caused to a lot of people, Virgo, not just yourself, but a lot of people. It is centering your reading, which means that you probably feel this strongly, more strongly than others. But nonetheless, this is a heartache that is being caused to a lot of people here. You might find the solution comes by looking at your own family. If you decide to focus on family in January at least, recovering certain relationships that might be a bit cold and distant, let's say with your mother, your father, your siblings, your aunts, your uncles, anyone in your immediate family, you might find that there will be a solution that is extended to your other relationships as well. Most of the time we have to look at family matters to see how we've been dealing with things most of our lives, because those are the relationships that figure strongly and more prominently from childhood all the way through adolescence and into adulthood. If that makes any sense. So, a lot to be done, huh? But that is your reading, Virgo. That is your reading. That is how I'm seeing things. Let me know how you felt about this reading. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it and if you approve. And I will see you very, very, very soon. I love you, my Virgos. Take care of yourselves and have a beautiful, happy new year. Bye.